character that Barboza is. I mean, he has that character of a champion. He wants to prove to the world that he's a world champion. He's not a champion just from the U.S. or a regional champion. He's a world champion. So therefore, you have to go into your enemy's territory, so to speak. So I truly believe that Barboza is ready for this moment. He will be prepared. He will take full advantage of the moment and hopefully seizes it. I mean, I think it's a very difficult fight, but these are the types of fights that take you to the next level in order to become world champion, in order to become a star.
What's up, fight fans? Welcome to my channel. This is Johnny. In today's video, I'm going to be going over my prediction for this weekend's fight at 140 pounds in Manchester, England between Jack Catterall and Arnold Barboza Jr. Guys, before I continue, I want to say thank you to all the new subscribers. Thank you to everybody who's been with me since day one. If you haven't already, could you like this video? Could you also subscribe? A lot of you guys may be watching my content and not realizing you haven't hit subscribe yet. And the last thing, hit that little bell icon, the notifications button. What that'll allow me to do is every time I put something out that's new, you'll be the first to be notified. Thank you. All right, guys, tagged in this video is last week's video where I broke down the Catterall versus Barboza matchup, the stats don't lie video where I gave you the facts of the fight, the where have they been, what is at stake part of this contest. And in today's video, it's my opinion piece. I'm gonna give you my prediction. Now, I never used to do prediction videos. It was sometime late last year that a lot of people were commenting and they wished for it. They said, Johnny, I like your channel because you keep your opinion out of it, but why don't you start predicting the fights for us? And I've been doing that ever since, and it kind of allows me to get out of pocket of sorts, and I actually enjoy it. Now, I have been on a run of late. You know, last weekend, Chisora, 3-1 dog. Pick Chisora, we got a victory. I'm 9 for my last 10. I do have receipts. So anybody in the comment section who doesn't believe that, all these videos are up, and now granted, I'm not picking 5-1s or 8-1s, and they're not crazy upsets, but the point is, for a prediction, you guys want to listen to somebody telling you guys about the sport who knows a little bit about what they're talking about and not just picking winners based on, I like that fighter. Moving forward, you guys get the gist. This Catterall versus Barboza Jr. fight for me is actually a really tough one to pick because A, personally, I like both guys. I've watched their careers. B, I kind of have a connection with Barboza Jr. I spent my 20s in grad school and post-grad in Long Beach, California, where he was born. If you guys ever spend time in the LBC, there's something about that culture that makes the community so strong. So Long Beach in the house, the 562, so I have that. But with Catterall, his southpaw boxing style, his career, I love a guy who takes vengeance on a former opponent, meaning that we know Catterall's only loss was to Josh Taylor. A lot of people feel like he won that fight when you look at how close the decision was. I had Catterall winning the fight. That was supposed to be for a world title, and Catterall didn't whimper, didn't cry, picked himself up by the so-called bootstraps, won a few fights, got his redemption, fought Taylor again, and beat him. So that story is always romantic for a guy like me. And after Catterall went through that career adversity, I became a fan. I always watch when he fights. The southpaw is a high IQ boxer. We talked about in the breakdown video. He doesn't like wasting a lot of shots. His volume isn't the highest, but his accuracy is. And mate, think about his backhand. Whether orthodox or southpaw, you'd be hard pressed to find another boxer with as gorgeous technically and as fast and as sharp as a backhand as Catterall. Now, that being said, these odds haven't changed. If you put $100 on Catterall, you get 150 back. Barboza Jr. is still around a 3-1 dog, so $100 gets you $300. We know Barboza Jr. is a little older, he's gonna be taller, and he's undefeated. That matters. I always feel that matters because in combat sports, the more you lose, the more you get accustomed to losing. That's like anything, it becomes addicting. But the more you win, that also becomes addicting. So there's moments in fights where the psychology of the fighter will be tested. How deep of the waters could this fighter go? Can they come back from the dead? We know in the past there's been world champions who could only be the hammer and never be the nail, meaning, I don't want to say any names, but famous fighters are known for losing in a fight and never being able to come back. Now, when you've never lost in a fight, your mental state going in will always be that of, I could find a way to win this fight. With Barboza Jr., he will have the higher output. This guy is up for a dogfight, but he also could box from the outside. And he is well versed, like I said, at range, but some of his most exciting moments in his fights is in that pocket. So it's going to be interesting to see early on the decision that both guys make moving forward on where this fight is going to take place. I said last week, I don't think this is going to be a bloodthirsty rock'em sock'em robot war. I don't think it's going to be a slugfest. I could be wrong. I'm predicting more of a chess match between two guys who have high fight IQs. I think the feeling out process is going to be a little bit longer than usual. So for the casual fans, they might not like this fight. But then again, I could be wrong. That's not what I'm predicting. I'm here to tell you who I think wins this fight. Both guys, their last fights, Catterall fought Regis Prograis and Josh Taylor fights, obviously, which he won both. He dropped Regis 2 times. The haters will say, well, Prograis isn't the same guy as he was in his prime, and Taylor wasn't the same guy as well. And we know Barboza Jr. is coming off that victory over Jose Ramirez, and they'll say that Barboza Jr. of his 31 wins, he only has 11 knockouts. He doesn't have power. Catterall will be able to walk through him and get him out of there. Now, the odds are odds for a reason. Barboza Jr. has to overcome not just the travel to Manchester, but also the judges. He only has 11 knockouts out of 31, so he really doesn't have that power advantage in his back pocket, thinking that as the fight goes on, he can knock Catterall out. I don't think he's going to have that. In his head, he's going to probably have to game plan for knocking Catterall out. I don't know if he could go into Manchester and win a decision. Now, we do know everything is at stake. This is a championship title eliminator at 140 pounds. Catterall's ranked number 4 in the world. Barboza Jr. is ranked number 10. Here's my prediction. I've said too much, and time will tell, but I have a feeling about this fight. I like his length. I like his style. I like the edge he has with him. I watched all the media and the press the last few days in Manchester. They did a cool little promotional tour at a soccer game with Roberto Duran separating the two, and I just think there's something about Arnold Barboza Jr. this weekend. I like him as the underdog. I like him to go into Manchester and shock the world. I'm putting my money on Arnold Barboza to win a decision. I think Catterall is going to give him the best opportunity to bring the best out of Barboza Jr., and I think it's going to be his output. I think he's going to take a lot of those early rounds, and going into those mid to late rounds, I think he has what it takes to get through the deep waters and beat Jack Catterall and put himself in a position to overcome all those odds to fight for a world title. This is not an echo chamber. You do not have to agree with me. It's your turn. Comment section below. Who wins this fight, Catterall or Barboza Jr.?